Welcome to the Vision Profiles podcast. Join us, dedicated Apple Vision Pro users, as we dive into everything from hardware and software to apps and the latest updates in the world of Apple Vision Pro. I'm Marty Gensius, a faculty member at a Midwest University, podcaster, and Apple product fan.
I'm Eric Bolden. I work in IT, but my interest is in finding interesting ways to share content, currently photography of plants and birds and panoramic sequences.
I'm Dave Ginsburg, the host of the In Touch with iOS podcast. I am passionate about technology, especially Apple, and using it in a real-world experience as a 27-year IT professional, an iPhone subject matter expert, and I learn things new about Vision Pro every day.
Just a reminder for our listeners or viewers, you can follow the live stream on YouTube at youtube.com/@visionprofiles on Monday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or catch the video later on YouTube and the audio on any podcatcher service. So we made it through the holidays. Anything new with you guys? How was your holidays?
It was quite uneventful. We actually went out to dinner instead of actually having it at the house, so that was nice. Now I have to cook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eric, what about you?
Peaceful, quiet. We had squash pie, apple pie, lots of whipped cream to go on top. You know, the important bits. I think there was turkey or something too, but the desserts were excellent. And then there was a nice snowstorm right afterwards, so it was peaceful, it was quiet, no one had to go anywhere.
Yeah, well,
it worked well.
I was caught in that snowstorm. Wound up staying an extra day in a hotel. By then all the other relatives had left, and the hometown relatives that we enjoy, we went over and saw them for a good portion of the day and had a nice time there. But the snow was ever present in my how am I going to get home kind of mindset, and stayed an extra day, which was a wise move, and drove home yesterday from Central Illinois. So I'm a little tired. And, want to have some time, some fun time just to do fun stuff and not work catch up and other crap you have to do like laundry and things like that when you get home from a trip. Anything on Black Friday or dare I say Black Monday? Dave?
Yeah, I went crazy. I got, you're probably seeing my lighting is a little different now. I've got the new, the Elgato key light, the lights, and they're really nice. I love the fact I'm being able to remote control them right from my phone, which is awesome. And I also got the Key Light Neo, which is to my left. That's kind of, it's pretty big for being a portable light, like about that big. And wow. Got added that to a side view here, so I'm good. My lighting is pretty good here. I couldn't use the arms that it comes with because it has that giant clip, and my desk wouldn't fit under it where I want to put it. So I had these ones originally from here, but I had to buy an extra ball connector so I can bend it down so it's facing more down instead of face up. So, but yeah, I got a pretty good setup here, and then spent lots of time finally getting organized in this office. So I'm feeling really good with this setup. So,
yeah, you texted me. Damn you. You texted me.
Oh yeah, and I did get the Stream Deck XL that you've been talking about all the time, and now I have 4 of them sitting in front of me right now, including the Mini, the XL, the regular Stream Deck, and then the XL and the XL itself.
I do a couple of shows that are just like the one that I do with my son. I don't need a big XL. But it's sort of like once you set it up on the XL, instead of switching out Stream Decks, for me, it's like, just run it on the XL. So I've converted all of the keys to the different shows onto the XL, and I still have the 15 panel one down here. I'm looking at it.
No, I like this. I like the mini because I have the 5 or 6 little buttons for just stuff I always use, and then the Stream Deck XL is nice because you got the knobs and there's more control there.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm nuts. I probably don't need all this, but when it was a good price Black Friday, so I couldn't pass it up.
Yeah, I don't use the Stream Deck for anything else but doing podcasting.
Yeah.
I don't use it to my muscle memory is all about, using the mouse and clicking things that way. I should, with the money I put into these things, expand my knowledge base and use them for other things. But right now they're just switch panels for the show. And if you watch the show, you'll see when we switch frames, and that's me working on the touch panel. The Elgato lights were on sale.
$139.
That's why I said, damn you. Because they were on sale this weekend. And I thought,
that was a big drop. They're normally $199.
Yep. And I don't know if they still are. I mean,
they still are. I just checked them a few minutes ago.
Still are. I did look at the key light.
Yeah, that's what these are.
And yeah, I haven't pulled the trigger on it because I was coming home from a trip where I would have used it if I had it. And I don't anticipate I'll be doing any traveling for a bit where I'm going to need it. So it's sort of, I don't want to buy it now, even though it's on sale. And then,
you mean the Keylight Neo or not the big key?
Yeah.
You're not going to travel with the big
Keylight
lights.
Neo, the small one. And you're right, it did look large scale in terms of the size of the device it was on, the laptop it was on. So you had a fun time.
I did.
Yeah, I kept looking and just couldn't, and when I'm traveling and I get a little antsy, or if I'm under stress, that's when pushing the Amazon button, helps with the endorphins. I couldn't compel myself yet to do anything.
Well, I did get sucked into some of them to OWC's sales too, and I bought a bunch of little stuff to, they have their real big clearance on things and stuff I don't need, but I bought it anyway.
Yeah, my desk is full of stuff right now. I'm looking at it that I don't need or I'm not using. And I to the point where I don't have a good place to put it in that I'll remember it's there. So
like hard drive enclosures. So hard drive enclosures and there was docks that are older ones that were like $300 and they're down to $24.
Yeah,
like I need those.
Yeah, I'm glad the holidays are over as far as I'm concerned.
I agree.
Let's get to Vision Pro, and
yes, sir.
What can I say? To my knowledge, there was no beta today.
Nope.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see one tomorrow. Maybe. If we do, what I'll do is put together a pro note on it and have it for Wednesday morning in the feed. But I don't know. They need to get back on our cycle of releasing them on Mondays. Instead of on Tuesdays, they've done recently. So, let's look at. I decided to put the patents. There's not a lot of news this week, and some of the news is news that was carried over from other services that new services picked up on, and so it's going to sound redundant if we give that stuff again. We have some of that, but not a lot of news. I moved the patent section up to the front end. And just because we've kind of ditched the patents in a while. The first one is a patent. Again, you can only put so much emphasis on this stuff. It's a patent. They filed for it. Does that mean Apple's going to put it in their new product? We don't know. Does it mean they're going to keep the patent under their name so no one else can use that idea or concept within their product without fear of lawsuit from Apple? We don't know. Or is it just something they wanted to make sure their engineers and their designers got done before they took it off to some other place? So Apple said, you need to patent that stuff. This one is, again, making the headset feel a lot more comfortable. And it affects motion thresholds. And it affects, it has different modes based on motion. And then it has what they call yaw and pitch, which allows for dampening of it to the effect or the frame effect that people might see. Now, the big item here, if you're seeing the video or looking at the video, is this diagram that kind of places the object in space and illustrates examples of scenarios associated with the head roll motion. And just kind of interesting, kind of different. I'm going to stop and ask any reactions from y'all on this one.
Well, I mean, it looks like something. I mean, it does need some more comfort when you're moving left to right or up and down. I mean, again, I'm no expert when it comes to this stuff, but I see why they would want to do this. Obviously, this is not going to be for something that's current. They would have to create a whole new product to be able to handle this. So, but that's interesting to see where Apple is exploring further with this stuff. And when you're right, when you want to file a patent, you want to be able to put it in place so you don't want anybody else to steal it. So, then this is a good reason why they would do a lot of these patents. And I commend you of being focused on this stuff, because there is just so much of this patent stuff that you could just do probably a whole show. We're probably going to do a whole show here just talk about it, because there's so much.
There was a bunch of stuff that came out in the last week, including something I'm fascinated by, the patent about the hinge. The hinge that they're going to do on the foldable phone, that kind of hit the news this week.
Right.
Well, there was a patent element that was made that says the hinge could maybe even include liquid metal. It was an interesting patent, but it's not relevant to this show. So we're talking about it right now. Let's go on to the next patent.
Well, we'll throw it over to In Touch with iOS. How's that?
Yeah. I'll find it and send it to you, Dave. And, for my first foldable phone.
This particular patent was kind of interesting because Apple has continued to sort of improve watching content. And I think some of this can be applied to adjusting content to show correctly for your head and eye position. And there have been a bunch of commentary requests coming from people that, for whatever reason, can't change their position, and their position does not happen to be fully upright. If they're restricted to one side or kind of an angle that's tilted way back. They did some changes so that the horizon can get adjusted for certain content. So all of these patents and all of these adjustments I see as really critical moving forward, simply because there are people who can't hit the movements that are sort of the default, and being able to do some adjustments or to move things, adjust things from the default settings and default gravity and horizons, I think it's going to continue to be useful.
All right. Yeah, I thought about that in terms of, and you can see in one of the diagrams, like the head is turned to the side and the eyes are kind of looking over to look at the screen, and it implies some adjustment that will occur because of that. So let's go on to the next one. This one is the next product I'll buy is the Apple patents a Waveguide Gaze to Wake Gratings for future AR glasses. So this again is set up that Apple's designing AR optics that wake with intent, not taps, like your Raise to Wake watch. And a new application published patent published on Thursday, and again it talks about eye tracking, IR emitters, and sensors measure gaze vectors at the eye box. Wake logic: if the gaze overlaps the peripheral clue for predetermined dwell time, around 1 to 10 seconds, processors will wake the projector. The same gesture can turn off to save power if you want. And a diagram that makes very little sense to me. However, it looks like projections on various parts of the eyeglass, or what was holding the eyeglass. A front view of the illustrative Waveguide having a cross coupler and an output coupler, both that detect image light and supplemental light to the eye box. And then a front view of the Waveguide. So, interesting stuff. They still have what looks like Ray-Bans as their photo.
Yeah.
For it.
No, I'm sure it's something that Patently Apple added, not the Apple.
Yeah. So Patently Apple has another one. This is to improve. They file a patent for Vision Pro audio enhancement accessory, which looks like, from the diagram, an external attachment that brings the sound down from where the sound is and then over your ear.
Yeah, what a concept.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like this, I have to put my ears over my ear, put my hands over my ears when I have the Vision Pro on, unless I have my AirPods Pro 3 in, and that's the only way you're going to get the full effect of the sound, by putting my hands over my ears. I mean, you can hear it okay, but you don't get a good full effect unless it's covered or you're using AirPods to listen to the sound. So this is a welcome. I think this might have, it could be potential reality for a future Vision Pro, I would think.
Wouldn't it be cool, though, if they made them like hands?
Yeah, exactly.
They got one of their luxury designers to design two hands that attach to your thing.
Yeah, that would be funny.
So, yeah, it's interesting. It looks like an attachment that brings the speaker down directly to your ear if you happen not to be wearing AirPods when you're doing it. And then the last one I'll bring, this I thought was not weird, but it's sort of like, it's one of those details that Apple thinks of. Cool by design, Apple patents a glasses arm. So the arm's on a set of glasses that routes heat away from your head. So I don't know where they came up with this mock-up, but the Patently Apple picture looks like it's a clear frame with all sorts of sensors inside of it and what might be described as a fan or something to pull the heat away. One of the key parts of smart glasses is the arm, where key miniature components are integrated. Apple thus far filed multiple patents covering aspects of these future arms, including these, and they list the numbers. Last week, another smart glass arm patent was published, illustrating the importance of this smart glass part. And let's see if they have anything diagram-wise in it. Yeah, they have a couple of diagrams. Really hard to determine. There's, the first one is a cross-sectional top view of the example of what the smart glasses arm is. And then the other one is the smart glass arm includes a variety of components.
That's kind of neat.
It is.
Again, one of those detail things that Apple thinks about.
Yeah. Did you notice that on the patents, not this one, but the other ones, that they started adding comments about who is listed in the patent?
No. Talk about
and it's worth looking at it. So the gaze to wake patent,
Yeah.
There's the senior modem performance person, the privacy engineer, and the satellite connectivity engineer, which is an oddball mix of people
Yeah.
involved in a patent. And then
For awake to gaze. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's worth at least peeking at who's listed.
Yeah, it could imply also where it might be used, or it could imply they were the engineers that just managed to work on it.
Well, and it's an interesting mix of people that evidently were working together on something.
Yeah.
So maybe they will have some new teams coming out of all of this.
Okay, so that's it for patents. I mean, maybe we should have like a patent theme song or some type of banner at the end of the patent thing.
Yeah.
You know, my wife said, she can't stand listening to podcasts where they have soundboards. She talked about one guy that was a really good podcast, and then he got into soundboards, and she said, I can't listen to them anymore.
Zingers.
Just wanted to play with the toy, Okay. So a series of articles that I put together as a group, only because these are articles that are reviews of where Apple is with their device and where they need to go, and a kind of still evaluating the M5 in terms of that. And we've got 4 articles on that. 5 articles on that. First one being Apple gave Vision Pro 2 big, very needed upgrades recently. Okay, I'm not going to go down the article. Tell me what you think they were.
Well, I mean, I kind of cheated and saw it, but the vision, the personas, the vision, the personas, well, obviously were a big upgrade. And they referenced the YouTube video that Brian Tong and iJustine did when they were interacting with each other, which was really cool, actually. I thought that's something to see how. I wouldn't mind trying that. We should try it, see how it actually works that way they did it. But I think that and yeah, I mean, there was lots of others when it came to this, but and they said it's only 2. I mean, yeah, I would agree with what they said. Definitely the dual knit band is huge. I mean, took me a little getting used to, but Eric, you got one too for your M2, and I can't go back now.
I have a second one. For the M2. I mean, I got it with the M5, but I was like, I can't use another headband. It's like Dave,
Yeah. Did you buy one for the M2 as well?
I bought one for the M2, but it was
okay.
I'm not even sure. I think it's coming. I should be receiving it sometime this week, but I bought it like a month and a half ago. And it was on back order.
Guess we got lucky, Eric, huh?
When it comes, it comes.
Yeah. I was so glad to have mine. A huge difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's 9 to 5 Mac. Apple gave Vision Pro 2 big, very needed upgrades recently. This comes from Ars Technica, and it is a article called Vision Pro M5 Review. It's time for Apple to make some tough choices. We spoke about this, I think, on your show, Dave.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we talked about this.
Yeah, and thought they were not being too kind to Apple, and then they rolled it back like at the end of the article and said, yeah, well, still a great device.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about this, the differences between the speed differences. You notice it, Marty, and I'm at a point where I just can't justify the upgrade. I think the M2 has been working perfectly fine for me. When something really stands out about this, they even talked about how some apps are still frozen in the year 2024. But every one of these apps that are on the list here are not Vision Pro native. They're for iPad. And I've tried many of the apps they're on, like even ChatGPT. It's not a great experience on Vision Pro, but it works. But yeah, that's all you're going to really get right now, because just trying to get these developers to want to create Vision Pro native apps has been a bit of a struggle.
Yeah, here's what you were referencing, Dave. App support is mostly frozen in the year 2024. Many of us have a suite of go-to apps that are foundational to our individual approaches to daily productivity. And they talk about Firefox, Spark, Todoist, Obsidian. At least this is what this guy uses: Raycast, Slack, Visual Studio Code, Claude, and 1Password. Not a single one of these applications has a true Vision OS app.
Right.
Yeah. So nothing's been moved forward in those areas.
No, I mean that's really there's been the struggle with the Vision Pro for a while, trying to inspire developers to want to create these apps. But we've got, even with the app year-end list, we sure have a lot of good ones that are out there now. And I must say that there are some good ones, but there's a lot out there still that we're using the iPad version, and it works, but it's not as good of an experience.
Why don't you think Apple does their own apps with a Vision Pro?
Probably just they don't want to. I think that's where they've thrived, because of all the money they make from developers by these folks wanting to develop these apps on their own. Why not have a developer do their own thing? I mean, Apple takes its cut, and the developer still makes a living on it. And I think it's something that Apple really doesn't want to get into that business. I mean, honestly, they're obviously in the business with, like Final Cut Pro and the iWork apps like Pages, Numbers, and Keynote. But even those apps, I mean, especially the iWork, you don't see a ton of focus on it from them. Final Cut is its own beast by itself. I mean, there's such a huge community with that, and there's so many people who love to be able to edit, and me included. I got to learn it more. It's got a bit of a learning curve, But I just don't see why Apple would want to get into that business. I mean, too much. They really are okay developing their OSs and their products and hardware.
Yeah, but
they do just fine.
Even their work suite, numbers,
Pages, Numbers, and Keynote.
Yeah. Keynote. Why aren't we seeing Vision Pro versions of that?
It is surprising that there isn't for those, because Microsoft did it with the Microsoft 365 suite, so you can surely do that. And that's why I said, I mean, now if you can connect a keyboard directly to a Vision Pro, which again, I can't believe I didn't know that, that you can use. I'd like to see how it would work using like trying to type a Word typing a document in Word, or creating a spreadsheet, or even a PowerPoint. I haven't tried any of those really.
Yeah, I mean, in my big Marshmallow case, one of the things I store in there is a small little fingerboard keyboard that you could use, because I hated the look and peek and the look and click sort of thing that you have to do with it.
I primarily use Magic Keyboard, so they're not too terribly big.
Yeah. Next article in this kind of section is Vision Pro M5 evaluation, analyzing Apple's key choices. And this is about where they're making choices in their, at least in this upgraded version. The content offered on the Vision Pro M5 is improving, though it still falls short of keeping users engaged in long stretches each day. Productivity applications on the Vision Pro 5. Mac users' key productivity applications, including Firefox, Spark, Todoist, Obsidian, Raycast, Slack, and Visual Studio. Notably, most of these are accessible on Vision OS, as it can run iPad apps. And that piece feels like it was lifted directly from the Ars Technica article. I mean, they even chose the same apps that the guy had on his list. So this is lonelybrand.com. Your lifestyle super genius. They're smart enough to lift wording from Ars Technica. And then other things on here, like the promise of spatial computing and the absence of authentic Vision OS applications. Is a lost chance for spatial computing. And then distinguishing native from iPad applications. Users can differentiate can differentiate between native applications and iPad applications. And then Apple's native applications, like I said, just need for enhancement with them. So, an interesting article. And then we have second to the last one in this group. Again, this is Mac Daily News, and it's basically a review of Ars Technica's article. They kind of put their own wording around certain sections and large paragraphs of it, but basically... It's clipping pieces of the Ars Technica. And then I thought I would kind of end this section off with Geeky Gadgets, Apple's rumored smart glasses, the Vision Pro killer we didn't expect. So the picture on this is funny because it's got what looks like really cheap Ray-Bans. And on the side of the arm, it's got a little apple on it. So I guess that's their way of indicating. And it's an article talking about the potential of smart glasses.
Yep.
And it's going to kill out the big headsets. Again, same stuff that we've seen coming about the Apple glasses for a long time. Every time they talk about it, what's going to happen to the headset? Apple smart glasses are expected to be priced between $500 and $1,500. Yeah, sure. I bet you they go for a cool $2,000. That's my betting square. If it does all the stuff that you think it's going to do, and if it's going to be Apple priced, it's going to be a cool $2,000, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Some relatively quick articles here. Couple of them here about the M5 again. But this one in comparison to Steam frame, which we have the specs on, but we don't know, we don't have an actual product yet. Apple Vision Pro is now yet another rival as VR headsets continue to pick up steam. Here's how Apple's headset compares to the newly announced Steam frame. And it gives the spec differences. They haven't given a price on it yet. I mean, this is the same sort of setup that happened with the Galaxy XR. They talked about all the specs it was going to do, and then they didn't give a price on it. That was the final piece. And frankly, they hit all the specs that they thought they were going to hit, and the specs were almost identical to the M5. Now, the big thing with the Galaxy is we're having all sorts of problems with bugs, with the with the operating system. It's just kind of clunky in some ways. Same sort of complaints you get with new devices and new OSs. But this does a side-by-side comparison of what you can expect between the M5 Vision Pro, or what is there, and what you can expect from the Steam frame. And things on biometrics. They don't have anything on any biometrics with the Steam frame. And the thing for me is it going to have any functionality as a computing device? Or is it strictly going to be a gaming device that you put on your head? This is a extensive article in comparison where it takes all of the different spec sections and goes into each one of those sections in comparison off the table and explains the differences with them. And I recall Apple Insider did a similar thing when the Galaxy XR came out. They had a side-by-side comparison and pretty extensive in terms of that. But that's not all, folks. We have another contender. And I think Daniel would probably have a lot to say about this. Because Daniel has talked about Pico before. It's releasing a Vision Pro competitor in 2026 with a self-developed chip. Pico XR headset. Self-developed chip was started in 2022. Yang reports revealed on stage, noting that the chip is now in mass production. And Pico has done different types of headsets in the past, which is, I think, Daniel's familiarity with them and his interest in seeing what they're going to come out with. And I'll open it up to y'all in terms of what you think. This is a new one entering the market.
It's too soon.
Yeah.
I want to see more than just commentary. I want to see stuff out and people playing with it.
Right. Yes, I know.
It's still a little vague. I mean, everyone can talk about how great and wonderful it's going to be. It's a lot harder to fully implement. It's nice to have lots of options, though. And it will be interesting once people get their hands on the devices to see what the companies thought the most important features were.
Yeah.
As well as what actually works, but we won't know that for a while.
I'm going to kind of move through these ones. Maybe the last two we'll spend a little time on. Does the Vision Pro have a home in enterprise? We've sort of seen this article before. This came out of Computer World. And, it's not a toy. Set clear goals and outcomes if you're going to use them or move them into an enterprise. Talk to users who've been successful. Apps matter, but browser might work too. Share it, and SharePlay might deliver the most value for Vision OS, particularly if you're developing the platform as a way for product or engineering departments to work collaboratively. And we've seen those articles before. Have a dedicated support team. Dave is the dedicated support team.
Yeah. It's not working in our environment. It's not yet, anyway.
Yeah. But it's still interesting. This is a little different than the other enterprise articles that we've seen that it said, here's an example here, here's an example here. Each article is a different example from a different industry. This article says, if you're in an industry and you're thinking of using a Vision Pro, here's the things you need to consider to get it done right, and if it's the right product for you. So, we've talked about this, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but Real Madrid partners with Apple on Immersive Video Pro documentary and a next-gen fan experience. So Real Madrid is going to be doing a lot of things in terms of immersive cameras in the game, as we mentioned in previous reports when this first came out, that it'll be exciting to see what comes out of that process. There's a long-term vision to connect directly with a global fan base, and this is one way to do it. Just an interesting support article. And then let me see here.
Well, on the Real Madrid,
yeah,
it was sort of interesting because they're talking about 100 cameras filming footage for a VR experience, and they talk about 30 Blackmagic cameras documenting that filming in the setup. So it'll be interesting to see what the cameras are. I don't know what the stadium cameras are. It's like, well, evidently they're not Blackmagic cameras, or maybe there are a few. So I guess we'll have to wait to see what comes out. But
yeah.
It'll be. I think there will be a lot of interest in how did they do this. How do they process it? Hopefully, they'll show the back end of kind of how they keep track of the different feeds and assemble them.
So,
I'm curious.
Is it a movie? If the Blackmagic cameras are filming them doing what they're doing, then what the immersive video you get from this will be a documentary on how to use cameras in soccer games or football games, if you want to call them that way. I don't know. It'll be interesting. I want to see whatever comes out of that. Hopefully, we'll get to see whatever comes out of that. One final video or one final article on this, but it does remind us that Red Bull is coming out with their series, The World of Red Bull, which was announced a few months ago, and we're going to start seeing stuff on December 4th. That's going to be backcountry skiing featuring the world's top free skiers taking on the wilderness of Revelstoke, British Columbia. And so next episode after that will be big wave surfing, slated to let viewers follow elite surfers to the remote coast of Teahupo'o, Tahiti, I'm sure I'm butchering that name. Sorry, our listeners and watchers in Tahiti, which is scheduled to arrive. That's scheduled to arrive sometime next year, the big wave surfing thing. Dave, you got thoughts on this?
Yeah, there really isn't much to say else on this. We just got to see where it goes, honestly.
Yeah, it's more content by sponsors. I mean, it's content with sponsorship. It's the content we want, but with a commercial on either end.
Right. Yeah, Red Bull does a pretty aggressive advertising. I think they have their own channel that people watch. Red Bull's become very popular. Also, not good for you. A lot of caffeine.
Yeah, I had the AFib thing and then the ablation, and I was driving home from Chicago, and I made some comment about, well, I know I'm tired, but I'll just have a couple of Red Bulls. And my brother, the doctor, went nuts. It's like,
what are you crazy?
No, I'm Marty.
Can you ever really have too much caffeine?
Yeah. My Aileen just doesn't like the smell of them in the car. They smell, it's the smell of the berry flavored chemical they have. Just doesn't agree with her. So interesting article based on from a YouTuber who did spend a month. Apple Vision Pro replaced her other screens for a month. So she worked and kind of lived exclusively Vision Pro to replace all of her non-smartphone screens for a month. And the article talks about it, but they also have YouTube video, the full video that she talks about doing this experience. And it's weird, but all of the pictures of her seem to be on airplanes. Or at least that was the one that they captured. So, yeah, I mean, I would probably live in my headset on an airplane if I was going to do that. So, I don't know if you guys saw this, you had any thoughts on it.
Yeah, it was article I unfortunately and video that unfortunately ran out of time last week on my show. But yeah, it was interesting to see what she came up with. Again, back on the focus of the cost, back on the focus of it's not for everybody, but the overall the experience having it, to being able to have the virtual display on a Mac is awesome. Complaints about it being too heavy on your head for long periods of time. I don't know if she had the. I don't think she did have the dual knit band. I'd like to know if she would have tried that and seeing how better of an experience that would have been.
It looks like it in the YouTube.
In the YouTube.
Did she have it? Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell.
And the initial picture has her typing on a. Is that a Mac?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. She has it. Okay. There you go.
Is she typing on a Mac or is she typing on a PC? I can't.
Oh, there's no question.
That's a Mac.
Okay. I did notice in this second picture, she's got an Oura ring on. That health ring. Aura ring. Sorry. I've got one. I should know how to pronounce it. Oura is the.
Of course you do.
System I use in my house. And if you notice that camera or that phone that she has in her pocket.
It's an iPhone.
No, I don't think so.
Or is it? Oh no, I think she said she does use Android, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it looks like an Android phone with the camera placement on it, and it sort of looks like a fold.
I was gonna say it looks folded, but
yeah.
So take a look at it, Dave. I'm glad you had a chance to see it. And,
yeah, no, she's been a YouTuber for a while, so she's had some good content.
Yeah.
Obviously, seeing the chat here,
Yeah.
Stadler and Waldorf just asked, what do pilots do when they are on the airplane? Are they also wearing this headset? I would hope not.
It helps to pass the time. You can practice takeoffs and landings.
I appreciate all the comments in here. Cletus is in the chat room.
Yeah, pretty active.
Yeah, it's been active, and I have just been cruising through stories. Sorry, guys, but you continue to play and have fun amongst yourself. Yes, I am. There is, here, Stadler and Waldorf feels like Marty is money laundering the school's funds. How's he doing all this stuff?
Yeah, I know she didn't comment on that.
Yeah,
really
he's
quiet
just now
about
seeing
that
it.
one.
That's why.
No, I'm not buying a black magic camera. I'm just seeing it now. And Stadler, you have no idea how poor my university is. I'm paying for my own crayons, for my students' crayons.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, you guys, I apologize. Should be spending more time with you. I need to have you on a separate screen instead of behind all this other stuff. How about them bears?
There you go.
So, all good stuff from our chat room. You can catch them and the chat room live on Monday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at youtube.com/@visionprofiles. And so you get to answer and ask all the wonderful questions.
That last comment from the chat on the YouTuber and the screenshot they have where it's showing a click. I don't know how you film somebody doing something in a Vision Pro without exaggerating some motion so that you're actually showing something happening. If you bring up a page and you're reading through it and you're using eye scrolling, I mean, you could just be sitting there not moving at all. But there's nothing to show an audience. So, I'm wondering if maybe some of the clicking was just to make sure there was something in the video.
Yeah, could be. So, so she can get that weird look from people.
Yeah.
If you just have it on your head, they assume that you're antisocial. If you wave your hands around, then they can mock you while you do it. Okay, I know I'm taking a risk here, but this is the last article. Then we'll talk a little bit about our picks or apps. I fell into this article just by the title. It's an editorial. Processing heartbreak in a Vision Pro with Bjork's Volnicura VR. Do you guys spend any time with this? It is interesting.
I had totally missed that one.
The best example of this, however, would be her. Now, first of all, do you guys know Bjork? Dave, I'm looking at you.
Yeah, she's Sweden.
Yeah, and or Icelandic. Is she Icelandic?
Icelandic.
Swedish. Icelandic.
I thought Swedish, maybe.
Yeah, they're all the same over there. They love it when Americans say that.
Tastes like chicken.
Anyways, has always been an avant-garde artist. When I worked in radio stations, her records would come in, and it would be a combination of jeering from most of the folks to, well, you got to appreciate this international kind of presence that she has. And she's been around a long time. They did, I saw something on, I don't know if it was Netflix or It must have been some streaming service where it was one of her concerts. And I'm not a Bjork fan by any means.
Yeah.
But I couldn't stop watching the concert because it was so visually interesting. And the music, was background to the visual interesting. So this article kind of drew my attention, not only, dealing with a heartbreak by using a Vision Pro. The best example is this Falcon VR experience. And apparently they have, as you go through this, she goes through the different songs. I jumped into the app on the M2 Vision Pro, one that Apple sent me under my limited warranty after I experienced crackgate phenomena. The app also recommends that you use headphones for the experience, so I used my AirPods 3, which is supposed to support lossless connection to Vision Pro. And then they have like stills. What are stills, I guess, associated with each track. It's a 360-degree virtual reality video where multiple Bjorks weave in and out of existence around you as they sing all along the beaches in Iceland. And this makes me want to find this and take a look at it. Oh, a price tag of $45.
Ouch.
Which is an increase over the original $30. Yeah. I'd like to read about this more instead of spending $45. But it's an interesting article and an interesting concept. And I don't know. Now that the group is making jokes about my how many apps I have in my dock. Terrible.
He has a few.
People. You terrible, terrible people. And they're organized. So figure that one out. I still don't understand. Sadler says, I still don't understand why bug and botany docs aren't popular on that set.
I always thought they should have one where occasionally, remember the old screen blinkers where you would get like a roach crawling across the screen that looked like it was on the surface of your display? You'd have to give warnings and have sign-offs, but it would be really cool to have, like a little ladybug crawl across your vision kind of randomly, or a giant June bug flying straight at you with decent audio.
Okay, Eric.
Oh.
Let's go into, Apple put out their apps of the year. Apple put out their apps of the year, and Eric has made his choices for kind of application and game. Over Apple's choice. We said, let's do this independent of Apple's choices. So let's go ahead and go with your app, which is Screens 5.
Yeah, so I kind of went through to see, well, for day-to-day use, what app do I use a lot and kind of need? So I've got Screens because I have multiple computers located throughout the house. They're not located right next to me, so virtual display doesn't always work unless I'm close to them. So when I'm not really close, then I can use Screens to remotely get to the screen and do whatever. So basically I have a large display on my face as a Vision Pro, and I just remotely connect it to various machines around the house. If I want an extra large display, then I actually have to get closer to the machine, and then I use the Apple Virtual Display.
Okay. You want to go on to what your...
Should I talk it up more? Or?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Well, so and there's a secondary app. There's a secondary app, and that is Spatial Gallery. And I only point that out because, every week or two I open it up to check to see what is the most recently released material. And sometimes it's got like background stories, like Apple's commercial with all the animals that found an iPhone in the woods and then filmed a whole thing. There's a Spatial Gallery thing where you get to see snapshots of each one of the animals in 3D. That's kind of cool. I recommend viewing it. There's other stuff in there too. And sometimes you get to see stuff there that will show up later. It just hasn't gotten there. Occasionally you see stuff that references a TV show or something that came out, a bit ago. So there's always some. There's at least ongoing content, and you can mark favorites if you want to go back and view all the best ones, later on. Okay, game. Oddly enough, I went back to 2024, and I picked What If. Mostly because it's an interactive story. They did a fairly good job. The controls seem to work. They kind of walk you through some techniques to interact. You get to see some things. It fits into the Marvel universe. It was just well done. And I enjoyed it when it first came out, and I went back and replayed it, and I still enjoyed it. It's kind of a play once. I went back just to kind of try it out again. But it's a neat experience. And I haven't seen that experience done in another way. It's fun.
Yeah, and it's free, which is really kind of nice in terms of that. Okay, so because these things are popping up in the moment, Dave is going with a game that I would have gone with, but we'll give him a visit. Or going with an app. Okay.
No, I did one of each. Well, I kind of comboed it.
Yeah, game and an app. Yeah.
The app. I mean, even though you said we don't want to do the app, the finalists, I still think after doing Fishing Haven is a pretty amazing app. I mean, just the immersiveness in itself. So I'll leave it at that because that in itself. But I honestly think Apple did a great job with Apple TV. The Apple TV app is just got a good interface. It's generally easy to navigate. Of course, the immersive video. I want more. And that's the best part of it is all the immersive videos that are available. But most of the movies are decent. I talked about on my show last week about the some movies are being enhanced for the Vision Pro and that were 3D. Some of the older titles are not as immersive, but overall, it's a pretty good experience in entertainment, being able to watch TV shows, movies, and such. And there's so many other apps I could pick. When you got the Peacock and Paramount Plus, HBO Max, and all them. But Apple TV just puts it all in one place and makes it a good experience. And this game I'm absolutely obsessed with. This is a solitaire game. It's made by this company called Mobility Wear Plus. I think this is probably one of the best solitaire games I've played in a long time. I'm so obsessed that I play it on the iPhone every day, and I've got 300. I just made past 390 consecutive days of of winning, and I'm just keeping that string alive. And then of course they give you little bonuses if you forget a day. They'll give you a pass and you can keep your streak alive. So, but the graphics are amazing. I think it's a fun game to play. And honestly enough, even though it's an iPad app, it actually is a good experience on the Vision Pro for the most part. It is big. There's no question about it. And you're going pinching to move those cards around. But there's ways of playing it when you get some hints and be able to double tap the cards whether it'll move for you or not. So it's not the old school solitaire where you have to think and put the cards in place. But so what? It's fun, and it just gets some time passing. And this company makes a bunch of other games too. I've just discovered the latest one is Dominoes Plus 2 that they got one. I didn't pick that one, but they've got a number of games that they've now created. And then the cool thing is it's part of Apple Arcade, so you as long as you're a subscriber, and it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I haven't. For me, finding a game on Vision Pro is kind of hard to do.
Yeah,
I'll have to. The games that I play generally are on my iPhone, and generally are the game that I play all the time on my iPhone is New York Times crossword minis. Mm-hmm. And you get one of those daily if you're a New York Times subscriber. But I've gone ahead and bought their bonus or their packs. So they have tons and tons of them. So I can just go in and play those whenever I want to. Not a big gamer. I know Dave and I have discussed that.
I am not either, really. But
yeah.
Here's the picture of my day streak. I'm at, actually not 390 yet.
Ooh.
I did so to prove to you that I'm obsessed with this. So.
My games, let me get this set up right here. I guess I moved them. Let's go to the app first. This is the app that I probably use the most. And I think of app, I think of productivity. And I don't know, it's a toss-up between this app, OmniFocus 4, where I can organize my day. If you're in and it's on every platform, it syncs to every platform. I do it on the Vision Pro in the morning. It's going to wind up someplace else when I check it on my phone in the afternoon. It is often a little too much for most people who are doing organizers. It's the whole getting things done process. It's got lots of, tags that you can put on things and stuff like that. It is a little bit obsessive for most folks. I don't use all the obsessive stuff. I could probably be using something different. But it is a nice setup and arrangement. OmniFocus 4 is sort of my app, work productivity app. Coming in a close second, and I didn't put the slide up, for me is Fantastical. Fantastical is the premier calendar, I think, for folks who are using iOS and Mac OS. So for calendar purposes, that would be Fantastical. My game is an old one, but I think what Vision Pros are built to do, and this is Puzzling Places. There are a couple of 3D kinds of games. This is, I think, one of the best. Whereas if you're looking at the video, you see there's a castle in the background. And that took me hours to put together the pieces and figure out where all the pieces go. You can spin the thing around to work on parts of it. It's just a pretty dynamic three-dimensional puzzle. So imagine someone taking a three-dimensional model and just smashing it with a hammer, and then you have to put it back together. and I'm running the video of it now. In terms of putting the pieces in the right places and where they fit. It is a very, very cool puzzling app, and it's called Puzzling Places. So those are our apps. And again, they'll all be listed in the show notes, so y'all can forget Apple's list. Take a look at our best, or what we think the bests are for you to play with. I might even go ahead and throw Fantastical in there too, just so you can see that and get that. Hey, remember to join us on Monday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at youtube.com/@visionprofiles. Join the chat room where you'll get Statler, you'll get Cletus, and other folks who show up and join to talk about us and talk about with each other about ideas they have. So let's go around and let's first find out where we can find you. I'll start with Dave.
Well, you can find me at In Touch with iOS at intouchwithios.com. YouTube channel is youtube.com/intouchwithios. You find me here on Mondays with you guys. Have a blast here at Vision Profiles. Monday night, Tuesday night, Mac Voices Live with you guys and other great panelists that join us on with Chuck Joyner. And on Thursdays, record In Touch with iOS with you guys, and we're slowly approaching 400 episodes. It's exciting. Can't believe it. And then on Fridays, I'm on the Mac Show on the British Tech Network. Most Fridays, we have a lot of fun there as well. I join Marty joins me along with Jeff and Patrice and many others. So, and then you can find me on social media. Dave G65's Blue Sky Mastodon.
Yeah, this is our 82nd show, Vision Profiles, and I get excited about hitting 100, but 400, Dave, that's really remarkable. And glad that I've been on it for the times that I've been on it.
Big part of the show.
It feels like I've been a part of that ride. I think I started just after your. I was like 301 or 302. I started being a regular.
Something like that.
Yeah. That's great. Thank you. And Eric, where can we find you?
I can be found on Mastodon at eabolden@mas.to, where I'm currently posting winter bird pictures from the snow day. Otherwise, of course, Mondays here on Vision Profiles, Tuesdays on Mac Voices Live, and Thursdays on In Touch with iOS, on progressing from the Vision OS to Mac OS to iOS, iPad OS, Vision OS, really a roundup, completing the week and kind of seeing where everybody is.
It is really good to have you guys part of the show. And Daniel, I don't say that enough because you put in your time and you put in your work on this, and I appreciate having friends like you. This is great, and friends like the folks in the chat room. It's real touching when we see folks come to join us and be part of the show as we record it and make mistakes in real time. Stadler asked, what was my least favorite app? And I wrote, Outlook on any platform. Doesn't have to be on Vision Pro. I'll just put Outlook on any platform. It will be my least favorite app. Let's see. Okay, here we go. I've got to tell you where you can find me. Just go to the podtalk.net website, and you'll find links to all the shows. This show, other shows that I do that are kind of fun and enjoyable work. Please take a listen to them when you get a chance. Dave Ginsburg's show on Thursday nights, Chuck Joyner's show, Mac Voices, on Tuesday nights, and other shows that like the Mac show that I get to be on. All of them like completely different styles, which is very cool. I was talking to Chuck about that in terms of this show, Dave's show, Chuck's show, and then the Mac show as being kind of different voices in the sense of what you can do. look for our feed, obviously, on all the podcatcher services if you want to, also on YouTube. The website is thepodtalk.net. You can email us at thepodtalknetwork@gmail.com. Thanks for tuning in. We love to hear from our listeners, so go ahead and email us. Our bumper music is Free Jazzy by Steve Combs, courtesy of the Free Music Archive. And learn more about us on thepodtalk.net. Spread the word to other visionaries. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.